From the News Channel 5 Network and Out and About newspaper, this is Out and About Today.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of Out and About Today. I'm Pam Wheeler. In tonight's show, Chuck Long will be joined by singer-songwriter Jim Brickman in the Entertainment Outlook. But first, we open up the show with our weekly Buzz About. Here to talk about the latest hot topics in our community, mainly marriage equality, is my co-host Chuck Long and managing editor of Out and About Nashville, James Grady. Welcome, guys.
Lots to talk about tonight.
I know, but we got to start with marriage equality, and we're going to put up the ever-expanding marriage equality map, which is going to show our viewers how far we've come, and it's really quite amazing. We talked before we got on air that 60% of Americans live in a state where they have marriage equality.
And this is happening fast. I mean, it's picking up steam, and it's really exciting to see how this is happening.
Right. It's important to say that we're taping before the Sixth Circuit has made a ruling on the hearings that the arguments that happened in August. So we could be dated, people could be celebrating, or in the alternative, planning for a bad ruling. And this will air, and it won't be timely. Sorry, but we had to talk about it. What are your thoughts on the edge of the ruling? What is everybody feeling? James?
I'm cautiously optimistic. I've seen enough conservative Reagan-Bush appointees rule in favor of marriage equality that I feel like the Sixth Circuit is going to follow the logic of the laws of the United States, and that we're going to see marriage equality here very soon.
And I think that's a really important point because a lot of people, myself included, see the Sixth Circuit as being a more conservative body, but you were saying sometimes that works in your favor.
I think so, because truly conservative justice is not going to rule based on the emotional arguments. They're going to rule based on the wording of the law and the strict construction of that law. And it's fairly clear, isn't it, that the law isn't in favor of this.
Well, and I think we have some momentum in our hearts now with the Supreme Court not ruling on these other appeals. I think some people feel like, okay, then the Sixth Circuit's going to rule in our favor. So I want to talk about what folks are doing right here. There was a Tennessean article this month about how there are people behind the scenes planning. They are planning, when the ruling comes out, to be calling county clerks to see if they're going to issue marriage license. There's a movement for those people to be they want to get married on day one, because there could be rights given and taken away. Do you have friends that are planning to get married on day one?
I will say, Tony Barrow, that was featured in that article, he's a friend of mine. I go to church with him and all. I was so excited to see them, though, talking about the fact that they are ready on day one. I've got another couple of friends, though, that they want to get married too, but they're being more cautiously optimistic, and they say they don't want it to be a letdown in case they can't. So I think they're almost holding back a little bit until it happens, and then they'll plan.
Yep.
I personally wonder whether the day one movement isn't a long game that's already past its time, because the reason that you go in day one is so that your rights get taken away, so that you have a law to challenge.
Right, that's a good point.
But by the time this case reaches the courts, hopefully it will be decided.
There. Yeah.
So it's a long game, and it may ultimately prove unnecessary. Hopefully it will prove unnecessary.
I spoke with the reporter because at first I thought she just wanted to talk to couples who will get married. Like, I've waited. I did not want to get married until we had rights right here.
Right.
And so I was talking to her. No, she wanted day one, and I'm not ready for day one yet. But I wondered, she had a hard time finding folks, if maybe it's what you speak of. But I wondered also, because we've been not on the forefront of this, that people are waiting, because there are 30 states ahead of us, and they just want to wait till it all settles, because we can feel it right there, but then we also think, is this going to happen, right?
Right, and I think the fact that we've been the same way. I mean, I wanted it to be in Tennessee. I wanted it to be legal, and I think it's great. Anybody who's gone and married in another state because they were ready. But for me and my partner, it's like I want to do it in Tennessee. But one of the things that a couple of people have pointed out to me, very good friends of ours, they said they went and they had a civil ceremony they wanted to have that ceremony, but they said they're not going to do it legally because it would hurt them tax-wise.
Right.
Yeah,
that's right.
And they're very successful, professional ladies. And they're saying, in our minds, we are married, but we don't want that legal document, quite frankly.
Right. We should at least have the right, but I get that too.
Yeah.
Okay, before we break, we want to talk about the November issue of Out and About. newspaper. Tell us what we're going to look forward to, and we're going to show the cover.
You know, it's almost a cliche that in November you do Thanksgiving, but you know,
Right.
Veterans Day is also in November, and given how far we've come, and we're at this moment in history where the position of LGBT people is changing, and the military is one of the early adopters of this change, just like they were with race relations in the 50s, and so. We really focused on local veterans and active duty service people and how far we've come since the 1960s when Jerry Peake was a communications officer in South Carolina to, you know, openly gay service members coming to play.
Right, exactly.
So beyond that, though, of course, every month, really, I look at Out and About and I see everything we have to be thankful for, and this month is no different. You know, affirming businesses, LGBT creativity in all its forms are featured strongly here, and I think, again, every issue of Out and About is a Thanksgiving episode.
Well, thank you for
You're
that
doing a
preview.
great job with it, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the holidays, and we're going to give some of our entertainment picks and gift ideas, so you stay with us.
The moment your feet hit the ground in the morning,
Start with breaking news.
it's go time. And between it all, you need to know what road to avoid when the rain's coming or what breaking story everybody will be talking about.
A bizarre attack.
News Channel 5 gets to the point with the news you need on whatever screen fits in your morning. Follow the leader, News Channel 5 this morning.
When the weather is at its worst, that's when you need information the most, obviously. You need all the radar information you can get distilled as quickly as you can from as many different angles as you can, and from that you come up with a really three-dimensional understanding of what's going on. Can't do that with just one radar.
Trust the power of 5 live radars and the Storm 5 weather team.
Welcome back to Out and About today. We're here in our Buzz About segment. I'm joined by Chuck and James, and we're getting ready to talk about the holidays. In last week's show, we had a health guru on, Holly Ladd, who talked about survival tips for the holidays. She talked about stress and alleviating that. We talk about this every time this year. I want to hear from you guys. Are the holidays more stressful because we're gay in any way? Go ahead, Chuck.
Well, for me personally, when I first came out to my family, I anticipated it being more stressful, but they could not have been more open and affirming and accepting, and that was just amazing. And now time goes with me, you know, home for the holidays, and they love them. In fact, they probably say, if you don't bring him, you don't come, kind of thing.
Sure.
But there was also, around that same time, some of my closest friends were not able to go home with their partners, and they're still not able to go home with their partners. And so it's always stressful for them. And so they stay here in Nashville, and, you know.
They have friend holidays.
yeah.
You have a different family.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Chuck, this is exactly my position, and it's one of the reasons why the holidays are extremely stressful. You know, my family is very welcoming of my partner, but I've never actually been into the home of my partner's family. And so they insist that he come, and he does. And I go, and my family wonders where he is and why I'm not with him. So
Because he goes home with his family?
Exactly. And because my family is welcoming, they kind of hope to see him, but they don't because he's there. And so they both wonder why I'm not with him
Right.
and why he's not with me.
Right.
So
And how much, I'm just curious, how much grief does that bring your partner?
it brings a lot. Probably more, because he knows that if he were there, he would be welcome.
Right.
And, you know.
Oh, well, I can tell you I have an in-between experience in that I've found over the years communication with your partner and how you're feeling on these issues and what you can do and can't do is key. Because when you have a side of the family that doesn't accept, and you and your partner aren't on the same page about it, whether you're going or staying or you're okay to be separated, it can be really difficult. I've had some of those hard times. I'm through them, and it feels good on the other side of them.
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
Sure.
I will say at one point when I did start going home with my partner, I did have a family member, a younger family member, that was against that, and basically said, and I have my nephew, and he has a husband, and he basically said, if they're around, I'm not bringing my kids. And of course that caused a lot of stress, but basically he didn't come. So, you know, that was the thing. So we still
Wow,
went.
that worked out well.
But he's eventually evolved, and so now he's accepting. But yeah, that happened for a while.
And did he ever apologize?
Not really. No.
People don't really apologize always for
He
their...
graced you with his presence. That's an apology, right?
I guess.
Well, let's talk about happier stuff.
Okay.
Let's give our viewers some holiday season recommendations. Doesn't have to be holiday related. Something you want folks to check out this holiday season. Chuck, you've got a doozy. I want to start with you.
This is one of my all-time favorite shows. It is coming back. It's the comeback. Of course, it's going to be on by the time this airs. Lisa Kudrow, she plays that D-list actress, Valerie Cherish. It ended 9 years ago on HBO, and now it's coming back. This is amazing.
I recommend it too. We have a clip. Let's check it out.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to my trailer on the studio lot. Come on in. I've been cast in an HBO show.
Is this on?
HBO is making a series about Holly G and a neurotic older sitcom actress.
What? I'm not happy with you. That's not right.
Well, you read the script, and here you are. It'd be great to hear you read it.
HBO offered me a part in Seeing Red.
We're back on TV.
Well, no, it's not TV. They don't do that anymore, do they?
It's great. I recommend it too. It's still playing while we talk over it. James, have you checked it out yet? Or
I've just been looking forward to it. I haven't seen the original, so I'm going to have to go back and watch that, but the previews are amazing.
It's on HBO Go, so you can see the original.
You can see the first one. James, do you have a different pick for our viewers?
You know, we talked about it, I think, last month, but I'm still waiting for Constantine, to develop, because it's going to be a great show, and it's not traditionally a winter pick, but.
Well, I'm going to pick a holiday thing.
What's yours?
I'm going to go with Nashville in Harmony.
I Heart Christmas.
I Heart Christmas.
I Heart Holidays, yeah.
I Heart Holidays. December 6th at TPAC this year. Tickets are already on sale. Do it. I think it's a great show. You won't be disappointed. Very entertaining.
It's just always so uplifting. They are such an incredible group. I love them too. Yeah.
Right. Okay. We're moving on to now our holiday. This is our mini holiday gift guide. Really mini. Something under $50, although mine was $97. I know I can never play by the rules I set. So, Chuck, what do you have for our viewers? What
I
do you
want
give
everybody,
people?
this is an annual thing now. Go to the Reps production of A Christmas Story. Ralphie, I think it's the 6th year that they've done it. It's to me, it's like, when you used to watch Rudolph on television every year, or the Peanuts Christmas, Charlie Brown Christmas.
Right.
This to me has become a tradition in Nashville. You can take the friends, you can take the family, and I know so many people that do this year after year. It's consistent. It is just heartwarming. I love it. And it's got a little edge to it too.
I've got to check that out. That sounds great.
And tickets are under 50.
James.
I'm having trouble remembering the date, but there's a symphony program coming up. It's chocolate in the symphony and maybe a little champagne, I believe, and it comes in at under $100 for a couple, and I think it sounds like a great gift to yourselves.
That does sound good. Well, my gift idea is a Netflix membership. $7.99 a month. You can gift it. People unplug. They don't have TVs all the time. $7.99. Actually, you can do 6 months and you're still in the budget.
And you get streaming that way, right?
You get streaming. See all these shows: House of Cards, Orange is the New Black, blah, blah, blah. We're out of time. Thank you guys for joining us. And when we come back, Chuck's going to be right here with the Entertainment Outlook, so stay with us.